How can I apply Stoicism in everyday life? Every day brings small and big challenges. Sometimes things don't go as planned. Sometimes you meet difficult people. Sometimes you're faced with unexpected problems. And how do most people react? They get stressed, they get angry, or they completely lose it. But what if you could use these moments to become stronger instead of getting upset? This is where Stoicism comes in. Epictetus said, "It's not the events that bother us, but our view of them." You can't prevent challenges from appearing, but you can learn how to deal with them. And that's exactly what we'll look at in this video. I'll show you practical Stoic techniques that you can use to stay calm even in the most stressful, everyday situations. And I promise you, if you use these methods, you'll notice that life is suddenly much more relaxed. Why we so often get stressed, and how you can stop it. Do you know that feeling when you've planned something perfectly, and then suddenly everything goes wrong? You prepared, left on time, and yet something unexpected happens that throws you off track. Why does this upset us so much? The answer is simple. We think we're in control, but in reality, we often aren't. The Stoics already knew this over 2,000 years ago. They realized that most people suffer because they get upset about things they can't control. Seneca once said, "A wise person only cares about things they can control. Everything else just wastes their time." But instead of just talking about this philosophy, let's look at how you can incorporate it directly into your everyday life. Here are 3 everyday situations where you can practice Stoic calm right away. Number 1. When you're standing in line and it takes forever. Number 2. When someone treats you unfairly or criticizes you. Number 3. When your plans are ruined by something unexpected. Let's look at each situation in detail. Imagine you're waiting in a long line, and it's taking forever. You're at the grocery store, just have a few things, but every checkout lane is packed. The person in front of you is searching for change. The cashier is scanning items slowly, and you feel your patience wearing thin. What's happening here? Your mind is telling you, "I'm in a hurry. This should be faster." But the reality is different. You can't change it. A Stoic would ask themselves a simple question at this very moment. Do I have control over this situation? The answer? No. But you do have control over your reaction. Epictetus said, "It's not the things themselves that disturb men, but their judgments about these things." You now have 2 choices. 1, you continue to get annoyed and waste energy on a situation that won't change because of it. Or 2, you accept it and use the time wisely. For example, to consciously take deep breaths, observe your surroundings, or simply stay calm. This technique is called reframing. Instead of seeing the line as a waste of time, you can see it as practice in patience. Every time you find yourself in such a situation, remember this. This is a training session for your Stoic calmness. When someone treats you unfairly or criticizes you, a coworker makes a rude comment about your work, someone cuts in front of you in line at the bus stop, your boss unfairly blames you for something. Your first reaction? Anger. You want to defend yourself or fight back. But what would a Stoic do? Marcus Aurelius wrote, When someone attacks you, remember this: their words belong to them, not to you. This means other people's words only have power over you if you give it to them. You can't control what others say, but you can control whether you let it affect you. Before you react, ask yourself, will getting upset right now help me? In 99% of cases, the answer is no. Here's a simple technique. Pause for a moment. Feel the initial impulse, but don't act on it right away. Ask yourself, is this person worth wasting my energy on? Smile inwardly and let it go. If you practice this, you'll notice that insults, criticism, or unfair treatment will affect you less and less. When your plans get messed up by something unexpected, you've been waiting for a concert for a long time, and then it gets canceled. You're planning an important meeting, and then there's a change of plan. You want to do something on the weekend, and then the weather turns bad. What's the typical reaction? Frustration. But the Stoics knew nothing in life is certain except uncertainty itself. Seneca said, "The only thing you can count on is that plans change." Instead of getting upset, ask yourself, can I change the situation? If so, do it. If not, accept it. What new possibilities does this open up? What can I do instead? Every change is a chance to be flexible. A Stoic adapts without complaining. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Live with what fate brings and make the best of it." Here's a little exercise. Think of a situation where something didn't go as planned. How did you react? And how would a Stoic have reacted? If you practice this perspective regularly, you'll eventually notice that unexpected changes no longer stress you out. How to practice serenity in everyday life. Stoic serenity isn't just a theory. It's a skill you can develop. And like any skill, it takes practice. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You won't become wise overnight, but if you get a little bit better each day, you'll get closer and closer to your goal." Here are 3 practical exercises you can start using today to practice Stoic calm. The "so what" technique. This technique helps you stay calm in difficult moments. Every time something happens that would normally upset you, ask yourself a simple question. So what? Example, someone cuts you off in traffic? So what? It doesn't affect your life. Your train is delayed. So what? You can't change it. Someone criticizes you unfairly? So what? Their opinion doesn't define your worth. This method forces you to look at situations from a distance, and you'll notice that many things suddenly don't seem so dramatic anymore. The Memento Mori meditation. The Stoics had a radical but effective technique. They reminded themselves daily of their own mortality. This might sound unpleasant at first, but it has a profound effect. Seneca said, "He who is mindful of his mortality lives more intensely." Here's an exercise for you. Take 2 minutes every morning and ask yourself, if today were my last day, what would I still be upset about? In the evening, write down if you got upset about something today that wasn't worth it. If you do this exercise regularly, you'll notice most things aren't as important as they seem at first glance. The worst-case scenario method. When you notice a situation is stressing you out or making you angry, ask yourself this question: what's the worst thing that could happen? And would it really be that bad? For example, you make a mistake at work. Your boss is unhappy. Maybe there will be consequences. But in the end, you won't starve. You won't die. Epictetus said, "Many people live in fear of things that will never happen." If you use this method, you'll find that your worries are often completely overblown. Here's a little exercise. Think of one thing that's stressing you out right now and apply the worst-case scenario method. Write down what would really happen and whether it's really that bad. I bet in 90% of cases, you'll find there's no reason to get upset. How to handle difficult people with calmness. Not all challenges in everyday life are external circumstances. Often, it's other people who disturb our peace. The colleague who is always negative. The neighbor who complains about every little thing. The customer who gets upset for no reason. But instead of getting annoyed with them, you can see them as training partners for your Stoic calmness. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Remember this, you can't change other people, but you can change how you deal with them. Here are 3 principles to stay calm, no matter how difficult someone is. Don't expect others to be perfect. Have you ever wondered why other people's behavior bothers you so much? It's often because you have certain expectations. You expect people to be polite. You expect others to think rationally. You expect someone to act the way you would. But the reality is, people are who they are, not who you'd like them to be." Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Every morning when you wake up, remember, today you will meet arrogant, rude, selfish people, but they are only this way because they don't know any better. If you stop expecting perfect people, you will automatically be less disappointed. Don't let other people's emotions affect you. Do you know that feeling when someone is in a bad mood and suddenly you feel it too? That's because emotions are contagious. But someone who's emotionally strong stays calm inside. Seneca said, "Why should you take on someone else's anger? Let them be angry, but you stay calm." The next time someone provokes you or is negative, ask yourself a question. Do I really want to waste my energy just because someone else is in a bad mood? Most of the time, the answer is no. Practice emotional distance. Imagine you are an observer of your own life. Instead of getting involved in a heated discussion, imagine you are watching it from the outside, as if you were watching a scene in a movie. Epictetus said, "Learn to see yourself as a spectator, then you won't be so easily disturbed." Here's an exercise. The next time someone upsets you, pretend you're seeing the situation from another person's perspective. If you do this regularly, you'll notice that you're not so easily swept away by others. The final step. Serenity as a lifestyle. Serenity isn't something you practice a few times. It's a way of life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." If you work on staying calm every day, you'll notice that not only your mind changes, but your whole life. Here's your final challenge. First, think of one thing that regularly stresses you out. Second, ask yourself, is it within my control? If so, change it. If not, let it go. This is the Stoic path to a calmer, stronger, and happier life. So, I have a question for you. Which technique are you going to try today? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to learn more about yourself and find ways to be more relaxed and positive in life, consider subscribing to the channel. It would help you and me. Thanks for watching. And remember, you can't control everything, but you can always decide how you react.